All right. So, hello everyone. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me perfectly? Right. Let's leave a hi in the chats. Hello Ramya. How is everyone doing? Hello, hello. Right. So everyone leave a hi in the chat so that I can know you guys are here. Right now there are only 20 people watching. So we can also wait for a few more seconds for more people to join in. Right. And hello Ariant. How are you? Hello Nikhil. Hi. So we have Ramya, Arihan, Nikhil. What about the others, guys? Again, we have around 20 of us watching. So leave a hi in the chats quickly so that I know that you guys are here. Guru Prasad says, good evening. Good evening, Guru Prasad. Amol says, hello, sir. Hello, Amol. Right, Dharmanshu says, hi. Hi, Dharmanshu. What about the others, guys? Come on. So, all right. So, firstly, tell me, how was your day? How was everyone's Friday? Today was Friday, right? So, is everyone happy that the weekend is finally here? I sure am. Right. It has been raining heavily though, so I hope you guys are all safe and the people that you love are also safe, right? But yeah, weekend is finally here. We all can now, enjoy the weekend if you guys want to, right? But we're also going to continue with this boot camp. So tomorrow is going to be the last day. So this boot camp was from 12th to 15th, so 4-day boot camp, and today is day three. So just 2 more days of all Java. That's it, right? We're going to spend 2 hours on Java today, and we're going to spend 2 hours on Java tomorrow, right? So how many of you guys were there yesterday as well? How many of you guys were there yesterday? Leave a plus one in the chats if you guys were there yesterday. Guru Prasad says he was there, so good job, Guru Prasad. I think you were there from day one as well, right? So also, guys, how many of you guys were there or have been there from day one? I would want to know that as well. Right, so leave a plus one in the chats and let's keep the chats active, guys. Let's not lose momentum, because if we do, then it's going to become boring for all of us, right? So let's not let the entire the entire vibe die, right? So okay, so let's get started. Firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to revise whatever we did yesterday, right? So yesterday day was obviously day two, and the main concept that we covered yesterday were, firstly, how does the entire program, or wherever we write Java, right? We talked about an IDE, then we write a code in an IDE, then it gets compiled, and then it finally gets executed. So how many of you guys remember what a JVM was? Right? Leave the full form of JVM in the chats right now. So Guru Prasad, Amol, Nikhil, guys, anyone leave the full form of GVM in the chats for me quickly, so that I do know that you guys have been attentive, right? So okay, thank you, Guru Prasad. So today Guru Prasad is keeping the chats alive. So Guru Prasad, you are basically today's savior, right? So I hope you continue this good habit of yours, and special appreciation and shout out to you. Uh, Dharmanshu is also active now. Java Virtual Machine. Thank you, Dharmanshu. Right. What about the others? Amol and Nikhil and Aryant and Ramya. So I do know there are at least 6 students with us right now who are very active. So good job, guys. I really appreciate all of you being active. Right. Programmer Hub is also here. Java Virtual Machine. Good job. And all right. So then we talked about, after talking about this entire, the compilation and execution. Then we talked about, or then we actually built our first Java script, right? And what did we write in our first Java code? If you guys remember, all we did was we said system.out println, right? Sorry, this is JavaScript. Right. So the first statement that we wrote yesterday was hello world, right? And what we noticed was the fact that whatever I write inside these brackets, right, and whenever I run my file, this entire line gets executed. We also talked about the fact that whatever code I'm going to write it in between these two brackets, right? So this is going to act like a Lakshman Rekha for me, and this is the basically inside these brackets is the area where I'll be working on right now, right? So this is one of the things that we discussed. Then after this, what we discussed was what is RAM and ROM, right? And then again, I'm forgetting that particular person's name. I'm so sorry. Did I mention his name over here? Let's see. No, I didn't. But one of you guys only told us after we talked about RAM and ROM, somebody also mentioned the concept of virtual RAM, right? And virtual RAM was the fact that you can allocate a part of your ROM to your RAM, right? And what is RAM? RAM is basically random access memory, and it is a temporary memory. So whatever you see on the screen temporarily, be it the chats that Guru Prasad, Amol, programmer, Dharmanshu, Nikhil, Arihant, be it the chats that you guys are typing, or be it anything that you see on your screen, which will go away as soon as you close the tab, right? So all of that is stored in your RAM, whereas anything that is going to stay even after you close that application or switch off your phone or restart your device, right? All of those things are in your ROM, which is your SSD, which is your hard disk storage, right? Which is your proper permanent storage, which does not get erased. Correct. So Aryant is saying that my screen is not clear. Aryant, I think you'll have to go to the settings in the YouTube video and you can improve the resolution from there, right? Because I can see the screen on my second screen that I have, and everything seems to be working fine for me. Right. So, how many of you guys remember this RAM and ROM concept? And after that, we obviously did our entire Java code structure. Right. And yesterday's class, we ended while talking about variables and what do variables do. So, today's class, I'm actually going to continue from variables because, again, this is actually a very strong concept. And this is basically the building block of your entire programming career. Right. If you know how to handle your variables properly, you will be able to handle any kind of a problem in the future properly, right? It all starts from here. So we're going to continue with the topic of variables. I'm going to go in depth of how do you make variables, what are variables, and why are they actually needed. The why is something that I might have not discussed in depth yesterday, but today I'm going to definitely do that, right? So Aryant is saying that he has increased the resolution. Aryant, try refreshing, or maybe because of the rain and bad weather, your connection or my connection could also be poor. So do let me know if anyone else is facing this issue, right? But like I said, as of right now, I can see my screen crystal clear on the second display that I have. So I don't think so we have any issues, right? So let's get started with the class now that we have around 20 people watching. So good job, guys. We spent the first 10 minutes revising whatever we did yesterday, and today's the next 2 hours, 1.5 hour, whatever, is going to be all about Java. So all of you who are excited about Java, today is the day we get started, right? So all right, let's talk about the why of variables. Correct. Aryant is saying then you will have to leave. Aryant, it's okay. Then you can stay. Just listen to my voice, and I think that'll be fine. Right? It's going to get better eventually. Okay. So we're going to talk about the why of variables, right? As to why are we using variables, or what was the need of the variables, right? So firstly, something that I want to say is yesterday we saw the fact that using variables we can store certain values, right? Let's say I want to store certain something like my name, right? And I want to use this again and again, right? Let's say, in fact, before storing, I'll tell you why the need for variables came across. So imagine this situation. Let's say you're working on a profile page, right? Or you're working on a program where you continuously need users name or user ID or user's email, right? Let's talk in terms of email. Let's say you're working on an application and that application constantly needs the user email, right? For various functions, to send emails, to retrieve emails, to maybe send messages, get information, right? We just need the user email. So how are you going to, let's say you're going to have a lot of lines of code. It's not going to be 10 lines of code, it's going to be thousands and thousands of lines of code, right? So in your thousands and thousands of lines of code, you just need one particular user email. How are you going to access that again and again? Let's say you're going to write that the email of the user is avi@gmail.com, right? Let's say this is my email, correct? And this is the email that I'm printing on my screen. Now, let's say you want to print this statement again 10,000 times, right? So it's a very simple task, right? You just continuously copy and paste this again and again, right? Again, very, very simple. Let's say we copied and pasted this 5 times. Now we see the output 5 times, right? Obviously something glitched, but whatever. Let me just refresh this quickly. Yes, right. So I see the output on the screen 5 times. Now imagine this. Tomorrow I change my email. Tomorrow my email is no longer avi at gmail, it is avi2 at gmail. Now what will I have to do to make sure that everywhere I was printing my email, I print the same thing? I will have to copy this, or I will have to retrieve this, and then I'll have to paste this again and again, right? So I'll have to make this two, then this two, then this two, then this two, right? And do this again and again. Now let's say the third time I have to do this, right? Then I'll have to again go through the entire every iteration of that particular variable, that particular data that I want to show to the user again and again, and change it every time. Now, is this an efficient process? What do you guys think? Is this an efficient process? No, right? This is definitely not an efficient process. Nikhil says no, Ritesh says no, JP says no. Good job, guys. So welcome, JP. I think you're not there in the for the introduction. Even Ritesh was not there in the introduction. So welcome, guys. We are just talking about or continuing from variables, right? So good that you guys have mentioned your names in the chats. Now I know that you guys are listening, right? Same for you, Asif. Good job. And all right. So now see. So this is not an efficient system. Now, what could be an efficient system? The fact that I save the user's email, yeah, right. I save the user's email in a sort of a box, and I make sure to call this box every time I use it. Correct. So something like this. We saw this yesterday itself. Right. Now have a look. Does this work? Let's just wait for a second. And this gives me an error. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I am really sorry, guys. Usually, I am so used to that auto. In my VS Code, I've added this extension which auto adds the semicolons for me. So I am really sorry for missing out my semicolons. I've gotten used to the VS Code thing. Anyways, right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to print my user email. Now let's say even if I have 10 iterations of this, even I print this 10 times, right? Even if I print this, it's not 10 times. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 times, right? Even though I'm printing this 8 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My bad. Just 6 times or 7 times. Something is still glitching. Shouldn't this always return in the next line? But anyways, we are printing this multiple times, right? And now basically what I can do is I can just change my value right from here. I can maybe make this Suwati at the rate, Gmail, or I can make this Guru Prasad, right? Since I think who was the first person to say hi today? Ramya was. Okay. So since Ramya was the first person to say hi, I'm going to put Ramya's name, right? So Ramya is the first user today, and what we're going to do is we're going to say the email of the user is Ramya, right? And the moment I do that, everywhere Ramya gets updated on the first line, the second line, the third line, the fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, and the seventh line, right? Exactly, Nikhil. So Nikhil has said this very clearly, right? Nikhil says we have to store the value first so that we can change it anytime, right? Same for Aryan. Data type is basically used to define a definition of our variables. Good job, Aryan. We'll come to data types in a second. So as you guys can see, the use of variables is the fact that we're going to store certain value, right? It can be any value, right? We can store any value in a variable and then we can call it again and again. And we can just say that, I'm going to call this value. I don't have to remember what that value is. I will just call that variable, and that variable will have that value, right? So understand this. A variable is nothing but it's just a container to store your values. Is everyone clear with this concept? What is a variable? It's just a container. It's just a box to save your, to save your data, right? This concept is clear to everyone. Thank you, Nikhil. So, right now, what we're going to say is that I'm actually going to tell you guys I'm going to show you guys a good example, right? So now think of it this way. let's say if I give you guys, okay, do you guys remember what crazy balls are? Those tiny little rubber balls, right? How many of you guys have played with crazy balls? Right. Okay. Ramya says yes. So thank you, Ramya. So do you guys? Okay. For a reference, I'll just show you guys crazy ball. These things, these small little balls that we used to play with growing up. Right. Now think of it this way. Right. Let's say I ask you to put this small ball in a container. Right. In a box. Is the size of that box going to be this big, or is it just going to be a small box? Right, maybe the size just enough to hold this crazy ball, right? The size of that box is going to be small, the size of that container is going to be small, correct? Now similarly, if I give you a tennis ball, right, for reference, this is the tennis ball, the Costco green ball that we also have played with growing up, right? Now imagine the fact that you have that crazy ball container, the small little container, and in that container, can you fit this tennis ball? No, right? Since the crazy ball container is way too small, right? Now let's say we get a bigger box for our Costco ball, right? For a tennis ball, we got a bigger box, but it's still enough for the Costco ball to fit and not anything else, right? Now I give you guys a football, right? So now football ball, right? So now I give you guys the task that in this tennis ball's box, can you fit a football inside of it? No, right? Now, my point is this. Now, let's say that big box that you have for your football, can you put a crazy ball inside of it? Just one crazy ball inside of that big football box. No, I mean you can put the crazy ball inside, but it is just a waste of space, right? Let's say now to put my crazy ball, the smallest ball that I had, if I put it in the football box, isn't it a waste of space? Isn't it a waste of memory? Right? Isn't it just a waste of a good box, right? Similarly, is there any point putting my tennis ball also in this box? No, right? So the football box will be for the football, the tennis ball box will be for the tennis ball, and the crazy ball box will be for the crazy ball, right? Just like that, variables also have different data types. So if you want to store something, right? Now this box is just your container. Whatever you're putting inside of it is the data, right? There can be a small data, right? Something like a byte or a character, right? Or there could be something as huge as a big number that we saw yesterday, right? So there, the reason why there are data types is because every container suits one data type, right? You can obviously store larger values, smaller values in larger containers, but that is a waste of space, right? But you definitely cannot store larger values in a small box, right? So basically every data type has a value that it will store. It is like a container, and every container is meant for certain kind of data, right? Another example of this is the spoon example, right? At our houses we have a spoon, right? We have a bigger spoon that are anyone in our house who uses to cook, let's say if there is something big in a big pot that is cooking, they'll use that big spoon, right? So we have a small spoon. In fact, we have even a smaller spoon. We have a smaller spoon for the salt and everything, right? The masalas. We have a small spoon that we usually eat with. Then we have a bigger spoon for the that we call as a karchi in Hindi, right? The big spoon that is used to mix food, right? Then you have a mug, right? Then you have a bucket, right? And then you have the the tank at the very top, right? So is there any point in making dal in a tank that is upstairs at the roof, right? No. But can you do that? Yes. But is it useful? Should you do that? No, right? So basically, just like that, every utensil, every tool has a specific use case. Every data type has a specific use case, right? And that's the most simplest way to explain it. Every data type, there will be tens and thousands of data types, right? There are actually a fixed number of data types. I think there are only data types that, yes, there are only eight data types. But the point being that in the future, you will have to deal with a lot of data, right? You're going to deal with thousands and thousands of data, right? As a efficient, I'm not going to use the term engineer, but as an efficient software developer, right? Or as an efficient, or as an efficient programmer, right? What your job is to identify the fact that certain kinds of data is only supposed to go in certain types of containers, right? So this is where I come with the type with this concept of data types. Okay, so how many of you guys have understood the this entire example of, you know, the different containers, and the fact that every container has a value that it can store. It should not store more, or it cannot store more, and it should definitely not store less, because if it is storing something less, it's just a waste of space, right? For example, storing a crazy ball in a big box where footballs are kept, right? That's just waste, correct? So we have around 30 people watching. That's good, right? So how many of you guys have understood that example? Leave a +1 in the chats. Till everyone leaves a +1, I'm not going to move ahead, right? So quickly leave a +1 so that I can know that you guys have understood the concept. Even a yes works. So yes, +1, whatever. So Bhavigada says yes. Nikhil says yes. Swati says yes. Guru Prasad says +1. Ritesh says +1. Good job, guys. Asif says yes. Good job, Asif. Thank you so much. Uh, Rahul Kumar says yes. Bollywood Sings says yes. Ramya says yes. Right? And good job, guys. Okay. More people, come on. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good job, guys. We have around 13 people, 14 people. So just a 2, 3, few more students. Come on, guys. We are at 30 views. So let's keep the chats active, right? Okay. So since you guys are agreeing to that, this data type, the story that I just told you guys, let's continue, right? So, okay. Now we're going to talk about what kind of data types are going to store what kind of values, right? The first example that I showed you was the string one, right? So what do you think strings can store? Whatever is on your keyboard, a string can store, right? So whatever you can type on your keyboard, the string will be able to store, be it your name, my name, Dharmanshu's name, Vignesh's name, JP Code's name, anybody's name. It's going to store that, right? And that is the good thing about strings, right? But a string is not supposed to, even though I can write 1 2 3, right? Even though I can save a number like this and say, my number is 1 2 3, even though I can do that, I shouldn't really save my number inside a string, right? This is the same example which is saying that, okay, you're putting a crazy ball inside of a big box. That's just waste of space. So what do we use for numbers, right? We can use int. In fact, we are idly for such a small number, we can even exclude it. Why? Because we can technically store it as a byte, right? So this is the first data type that I'm going to talk about, which is byte, right? The fact that you can save a very small number ranging from -127 to 128. What is 128? uh, 2 5s are 32, 2 6, like 2 to the power 5 is 32, to the power 6 is 64, to the power 7 is 128, right? So basically in your byte, you can save numbers from -2 to the power 7 to 2 to the power 7. Look at this. I am so sorry, guys, again for getting the semicolons. All right. So, okay, Ritesh isn't. Good job, Ritesh. But we are going to actually learn about a new data type, which is byte, right? So the range of a byte is from -127 to 128. Let's actually see if I store a number bigger than 128. So if I store 128, that should run. Okay, even 120 is not there. So I believe it is -127 to just, oh, -128 to 127. I'm so sorry, guys. So it's -128 to 127, right? So if I'm storing any number till 127, that number is going to be there. It's going to do that. But the moment I increase my number to 128, what is the error that it gives me? uh, Possible lossy conversion from int to byte, right? Incompatible types. So basically, the number, it is what it is saying is the fact that from 128, that number officially becomes an int, all right? Or we can even do 16 bits. We can even do short. but ideally people just start with int at this point. And people use byte, int, and long the most, right? After long, it is double and float that people use. Short is not something that people do use, but you should ideally use short as well, right? So basically, after 128, we come to short, right? So this number is ideally a short data type. Correct. So what is short? Short will help you to save values from bigger than 128 to 32,768. Right. Let's have a look at what is this thing. 2 to the power of what will give us this. So I think this should be 2 to the power 32. Is that correct? No, that 2 to the power 32 is this. I believe this should be 2 to the power 16 or something, right? No, it's 2 to the power 12, 14, 15. Yes, it's 2 to the power 15. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing this is because when I was learning myself these data types, I used to remember these things. So notice how these numbers are increasing. So this ranges from 2 to the power 7, right? This range is 2 to the power 15 that we just saw. 2 to the power 15, right? Then this range is 2 to the power 31, then it's 2 to the power 63. Are you guys seeing that how it is constantly becoming double, right? Like this exponential power is becoming double. How many of you guys are understanding the maths of this, by the way? Did I confuse you guys or am I still making sense? Am I making sense, guys? Are you guys paying attention to this? The fact that the first range was 2 to the power till this thing, then 15, then 31, then 63, right? Okay. So then we use short and then we use int. So I will not lie to you. Int is the most popular like data type that you're going to use, right? Like I said, you can always store a big number. You can always store a small value in a big container, right? You can always do int number is equal to 128. It is definitely a waste of space. I will not advise it. If you want to be an efficient programmer, you should never do this. But if you want to loosely speaking, you can definitely use int for, you can always store a small value in a big container. You can always store your crazy balls in the big container of the football, right? It's just a waste of space. Okay, anyways, so these are what data types are, and something that you'll see over here is that default value is 0 is also written, right? Default value 0 is also written. So what do you think the default value means? What do you think the default value stands for, or what does it mean? So what it basically means is the fact that, let's say if I say int number, I haven't given it any value, and when I try to run this, what will be the value of this thing? Why is it giving me 0 when might not have been initialized? This should have given me the value. Let me see this. Or I have to specify. Never mind. But the error was giving me initialized, right? Hmm. It should have given me 0. That's what I'm thinking too. Hmm. Initializing. I shouldn't have to write int x is equal to something. I can just write y is not. It complains. All right. Then y is never mind. Okay. So you'll have to specify this value. I might have. Let me remove this point. Okay. Let's not use default values then. Anyways, right. Change the compiler. How do I change the compiler in an online compiler? Right, but okay, ideally this gives a zero, so don't worry about this right now. But anyways, right, the default value of this is ideally zero, but whatever. Okay, the main point that I was talking about is the fact that we're going to talk about how we're going to declare and initialize variables, right? When we are declaring, this is what we do: we say data type and then variable name. There are more data types, by the way. Long is for longer numbers. I'll just quickly tell you guys about float and double as well. So float is like the smaller version of decimals, and double is the larger number of decimals, right? If you want to store a decimal value, you're going to do that. Now, what is Boolean? Boolean just takes two values, true and false, right? And that's about it. So Boolean can only two possible values, true or false. True means true, obviously. False means false. I'll tell you guys where we are going to use Booleans, right? And then we talk about characters. So what is a character is basically whatever you can type on your keyboard, right? Be it A B C D numbers, be it everything is a character technically, be it asterisk, at the rate sign, hashtag, dollar sign, percentage sign, right? Whatever basically symbol that you can type from your keyboard, that is what is a character. All right. And right, so the way you declare variables is using this method. And what do you say is you just say data type variable name, right? And if you want to declare integer, you say this. Otherwise you say int num is equal to 10, and then you can also do this, right? Declaring is when you say that, okay, I'll tell you the difference between, there are two words: declaration and initialization, right? So the difference between declaration and initialization, what do you guys think the difference between declaration and initialization is? So declaration basically means the fact that you are going to declare a variable, and what that means is you're going to say that, okay, when I say int my num, right, when I do this, it's going to mean that my num is a variable name that I've declared, right? I can no longer do something like this. All right, it's going to give me an error, or string. See, it gave me an error, right? It's going to say already declared. Anyways, so see, basically, Tegri says hello. Hello, Tegre. So basically, my point was the fact that this is what we call as a declaration, and then there is an initialization. Initialization is when you initialize a value, right? When you say my num is equal to 10, right? And this way, what is going to happen is you're going to now print the value, and what is my num going to be? My num is going to be 10, right? As you guys can see, 10. Correct. So the first part is declaration, and this is what we call as initialization. Right? Declaration is just declaring a variable. Initialization is assigning a value to that variable. All right. So this is how you would. This is how we have been doing it. We are declaring and initializing at the same time. But usually declaration and initialization are done separately. So that, let's say sometimes in code, what is going to happen is you want to store a variable, but you don't have the value of the variable when the code starts. So you're going to want to get the value of the variable after the code has started, right? And then you're going to store that variable up in the code. So basically, what is this? Why is this uses? Let's say, let's talk with the example of user email, right? Let's say I want to store the user email, but the user has to log in first so that then I can keep the user's email with me, right? So if I want to make a variable for user email, I can. And then when the user logs in, I'm going to say user email is equal to the email that the user entered, and then I can move ahead, right? How much of this has made sense to you guys so far? What do you guys think? How much of this has made sense? We still have 25 people watching, so let's keep the chats active. Like I said, Vignesh, Dharmanshu, Ritesh, Roja. Hi, Roja. You came late today, I believe, right? Uh, Guru Prasad says, "Can you explain again?" I really appreciate Guru Prasad for letting us know, right? Don't worry, I'll explain it again. So there are two concepts that are involved when you're dealing with data types and variables. So the first thing is declaration, right? The second thing is initialization. So what declaration means is you're going to say that, okay, I'm going to declare my variable. I'm going to say that my num, right, is going to be an integer, and this integer is something that I'm going to use again and again, right? You're just announcing something. You're making an announcement, and you're letting your code know that my num is a variable that I'm going to use again and again. I don't have its value as of right now, but I will have it in some time later. Right? I don't have the value right now. I cannot initialize it, but I'm declaring that I will use this variable. Right? Then later, after some lines of code, you get the value. Right? Maybe you do some mathematical operation. Maybe the user inputs something. Right? Then you get its value. Then what are you going to say? You're going to say that now I'm assigning, right? I am saying that 10 number is the data that I'm storing in this box. So my number, my num, which was the variable I declared on line number 7, right? So my num, I had already declared it, and now I'm using it. I'm using it to store this value, right? You can even use it to store any other value, like you can say my num is equal to 10 plus 20. So what will my num be? It'll be 30, right? So now the fact that you've declared it on line number 7 means that you can use this variable again and again to store integers. What are integers? Integers are numbers ranging from 2 to the power 15, 2 to the power 32, right? 2 to the power 32. Correct. So Guru Prasad says clear. Thank you. So no, I would want to say thank you to you, Guru Prasad, for raising that doubt. I really appreciate you raising your doubts in a live session. It takes courage, and I'm really proud of you. So good job. All right. What about the others? Do others have any doubts as well in this? Guys, let me let you guys know again that this is just the pre-course, right? Nobody is expecting you to know everything. We are starting right from the scratch, right? And our goal is to keep everyone together in this on this journey, and by the end of the 4 days bootcamp that we have, all of you guys get a good brief of Java, right? That is our goal. So please let us know if you have any doubts whatsoever, and we're going to solve your doubts. So Sandeep says my num की value दो two times कैसे ली? So that is Hindi. So for those of you guys who do not know Hindi, what Sandeep is asking for is the fact that how did I declare, or how did I use, or how did I give my num a value two times, right? So basically, Sandeep, I can declare it once, but I can give itself its value again and again, and that is what variables are, right? Variable is a container where I can keep on changing values. Maybe I want to store a red crazy ball in this, maybe tomorrow a blue one, maybe day after tomorrow a black one, right? I can keep on changing the data types, and this container is a box, right? The box is going to stay, but I can keep on taking out values and putting new values. So whenever I do this equal to sign, this is what we call as the assignment operator. We're coming to operators, that is the next topic. But right now, what I want to tell you guys is this is what we call as the assignment operator, right? And in this assignment operator, I'm assigning this value to this variable. Then over here, I'm saying that this variable is now equal to this value. Tomorrow, I can even say something like this. I can say my name is equal to 100,000 times 5, 100 times 5, right? So what is the value of my num going to be? 500. So basically, my num is just a container, and I can put any value in it as n number of times that I want to, right? Any times that I want to. It's not just 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 10,000 times. How many times you want to update, you can. But what you cannot do is you cannot do it like this. Okay, basically, once a variable is declared, you cannot declare it again. Whenever I add this int, that means I'm declaring this variable again. Right? So Birigani has a doubt, and I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Right? Can I call you Monica? So Monica, regardless, has a doubt, and so the doubt is that why we should use public static void. Is it necessary? So public static void is something that we will cover in future classes. Right now, let's stick to the basics. Right now, for you, as of day 3 of bootcamp, I'm going to say that yes, it is necessary as of right now, right? Just for the sake of this video. Uh, In the future, you can obviously, you will learn more and you will realize that this is not necessary. But for now, ignore these two lines like I explained yesterday. Just worry about what is inside of this. Okay. And Rahul says, why does it only print 500? Rahul, it only prints 500 because I have my print statement only once. If I had my print statement after every line, then it is going to print it three times. It's going to print 10, then it's going to print 30, then it's going to print 500. Right? And this, by the way, is what is multiplication. Swati said that. Okay. So this is actually what operators are. We're just coming to that topic. Don't worry. Right now, tell me if declaration and initialization clear to everyone. The fact that you cannot declare something two times, but the fact that you can initialize values again and again. You can keep on assigning values. In fact, initialization just refers to initializing it for the first time. Rest every time you're just changing its value or assigning a new value. All right. So then there is another thing, what we call as final, right? So there is another keyword. So Birigani wanted to know what public static void was, but instead of that, I will show you guys final, right? Let's say I have two integers. One is this, and the other is integer my num two. Okay. What am I going to do is I'm going to say my num and my num two is equal to, or over here only I'm going to say my num2 is equal to 20, right? Then I'm going to say my num2 is equal to 30, right? And I'm going to print my num2. So what is the value of my num2 right now? It is 30, correct? Now I'm going to use this keyword final. And when I use this keyword final, look at what happens. It gives me an error. Why does it give me an error? It says cannot assign a value to a final variable. So final means that I cannot give it another value. So whenever I use the keyword final, that means this value 20 is stored in this variable forever and ever. Obviously in a RAM, but in a RAM it is saved forever and ever. And what that means is now I cannot change this value, right? This value is now fixed to 20. So no matter, even after 20 years I run this code, it's still going to be 20, right? That is what I mean by the term final. And this keyword is what defines the fact, or what says the fact that this variable of this data type, this is the variable name, this is the value that has been assigned to this variable, is going to be final. It's not going to change. Whereas a normal int, I can change again and again. I can change it, let's say right now. I can change it after this line. I can even change this after this. So I can keep on changing the value of my normal integer, but for final integers or final variables, I cannot. So how many of you guys understood this? The keyword final? How many of you guys have understood this, guys? Monica says understood. Nikhil says yes. What about you, Ramya? Guru Prasad says understood. Good, good. Rahul Rahul says, can you repeat? Okay, good job, Rahul. So, all right. So, okay, have a look at this. When I declare my integer, I'm saying int minor, right? But over here, line number 8, I'm adding this keyword final to integer my num2. Now, my point is, what is the difference, right? What is the difference when I have a normal integer and when I have a final integer, right? The keyword final means that now I will not be able to change the value of my num2 again. Whereas my num, I can keep on changing it again and again, right? But can I do this? Instead of making my num as 11, can I say my num2 is equal to 11? No, I cannot. Okay. The moment I try to change the value of my num2, it gives me an error and it says my num2 is equal to 11, right? And over here it says that cannot assign a value to a final variable. So basically, this is what final keyword does. It just makes sure that this variable is its value is assigned whenever it is declared, and then it is never changed again. All right. Does this make sense, Rahul? Did I make myself clear now? The fact that you cannot change its value. You can only change the value of my num and not my num2, because my num2 is a final variable. It's a constant technically. Rahul is okay. Great. So again, good job, Rahul, for asking this doubt. I'm sure there are other students who have the same doubt, but they do not have the courage like you have the courage to ask a doubt openly. I really appreciate that. And this is something that each and every one of you guys should learn from both Rahul and Guru Prasad, right? The fact that you guys can ask your doubts openly in a live session, it means a lot to you guys also and to me as an instructor, right? This ways I know for a fact that now Guru Prasad and Rahul have understood the concept. All right, great, great. So, good job, guys. So, I think this is good enough for variables, and we are done with variables for the while, for a while, right? Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is Boolean is true and false. We are coming to Booleans in a second, right? Character is just a single character, string is multiple characters, all right? Double just means this floating value, and string obviously is multiple characters, okay? But apart from this, what we're going to talk about now is our this thing operators. All right, there are three types of operators, I believe, four. Okay, so there are four types of operators that we're going to learn about, starting from the first, arithmetic operators. Right, arithmetic. What does arithmetic mean? If you guys remember, arithmetic means maths, correct? Okay, so now have a look at this. So now what am I going to do is I'm going to print one by one all the values. Okay, good job, Nikhil. Nikhil says maths, proud of you. All right. So now what do you think? Okay, so we're going to go one by one. When I say int x is equal to 5, what is the value of x? X is 5, correct? What is similarly the value of y? What will the output of this be? What will the output of line number 10 be? Before I run it, quick. It's going to be 2, correct? It's just going to be 2. So x is 5 and y is 2. All right, x is 5 and y is 2. Now, if I have this thing, so what is my sum? In sum is equal to x plus y. What is x? 5. What is y? 2. So what becomes sum? What is sum? Sum is 7. Correct? Simple maths. Now we talk about difference. All right. So now we talk about difference. So what is difference? Difference, int difference is equal to x minus y. So what is x is 5, y is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3. So difference is 3. Cool. So now we talk about product and quotient. Okay. Now have a look at this. So int product is equal to x asterisk y. What is this asterisk? I understand that plus is plus, minus is minus, but what is this star? Why not? Why are we not using this something like this? So what this asterisk or what this star means is multiplication, right? So when I say int product is equal to x star y becomes 5 into 2, 5 into 2 becomes 10. So product is equal to 10, right? So product is 10. If I run this, I should see product is 10. Correct? Good job, Nikhil. It means multiplication. Good job. Right? So product is 10. Now we come to the second last thing, quotient. So what do you think quotient is? So quotient is x divided by y. What is 5 divided by 2? Mathematically speaking, it is 2.5. Right? 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Let's have a look at what it sends. It just shows 2. Right? So basically, when I say divide, it's going to only give me an integer, right? If I make this as a float, and now if I do this, what will x by y give me? It is still giving me a quotient. Mm, but now it gives me 2.0, right? Because, okay, Guru Prasad says because the type is this, right? What happens if I do double 2.0? I think I'll have to. Uh, wait. Let's have a look at this now. This might give us an error. Yeah, I saw that coming. Wait, let's do this. Just a second, guys. I just want to show you guys how data types work. Why is this taking so long? Second, I'll clear everything and add this again. Right. Now it did. So did you guys see what happened? Yeah, we could have directly used float, but okay. So did you guys see what just happened? So basically, I'll explain why I did this. I can also just do this. All right. And we can make this float. Let me just make this simpler for you guys to understand. And now have a look at this. Mm, okay. So the reason why you have to write F is so that this is something that I didn't want to touch today. But okay, so the reason why you have to write F is so that you tell your Java that this is not a double, this is a float, and otherwise you can just directly use double. That's why people like to use double mostly for decimal values, right? Uh, but if you specify properly, like by typing F, that means you're specifying that this is a float, and then you can save this in a float value. All right. But anyways, no, don't worry about that right now. What I just wanted to show you guys how data types will affect your quotient part. The fact that when I divide this, right, when I was dividing this as two integers, what was I getting? I was getting 2. When I divide this as a quotient, I get 2.5, right? Now I can change this back to an integer. Sorry, let me go back to the simple stuff, right? Again, guys, I don't want to confuse you guys. I didn't want to go into the depths of this. I don't know why I chose to show you guys this example. Let's go back to our basics, right? So basically, when I divide x by 5 by, what do I get? I'm saying 5 by 2 is 2.5, but I'm storing it inside an int. So what can I store inside an int? Just an integer, and 2.5 is a float or a decimal value. right? So what will be 5 divided by 2? It will just be 2. Okay, it's not going to be 2.5, it's going to be 2. All right. How many of you guys have understood this division part? I feel I'll have to explain this again because of the confusing example that I just showed you guys. Forget that for a second. Just tell me how many of you guys have understood quotient. How many of you guys have understood quotients? Vignesh, Rahul, Guru Prasad, Muskan says understood, Rahul says understood, Guru Prasad, Birigani, Ramya, Nikhil, Vidharba, Ramya, Sandeep, JP Codes, Roja, Ritesh. Are you guys still here? Are you guys still watching, guys? Okay, good. Good to see that Muskan, Rahul, and Guru Prasad have understood this. Sandeep has also understood this. Good job, Sandeep. All right. Okay, Pavan also has also good. So see, what I just wanted to tell you guys was if the data types matter because the value that you're storing inside the data types are dependent on these values, right? Similarly, what is your remainder? So this function is what we call this entire symbol is not the percentage symbol in JavaScript in any programming language. This, if used as a arithmetic operator, is what we call as a modulus. And what does the modulus do? It returns the remainder, right? So if I have 5 divided by 2, what is the remainder, guys? What is the remainder of 5 divided by 2? It is 1, right? When I divide 5 divided by 2, I get 5. 2 times 2 is 4. So basically what is going to happen is this thing. Let me open a Jamboard quickly so that I can show you guys. Do you guys remember how we used to do division when we were little kids? So when we were kids, this is how we used to do division. So we have a number 5 and then we used to put 2 over here. So 2 times 2 becomes 4, right? Then we subtract this and then we get 1. So 2 is my quotient and 1 is my remainder, right? So this is basically what is 5 divided by 2. So 5 divided by 2 gives me this thing. And what is this? This is 5 percentage 2. Is this clear? So 5 divided by, when I'm dividing 5 by 2, when I say 5 slash 2, I'm getting this quotient and 5 percentage 2 is my remainder. How many of you guys remember this? Isn't this how we used to divide in when we were little kids? Or did you guys forget this basic way of division? So I'm going to give you guys one question. Let me actually give you guys one question and give you a tough answer. So let's do 127. What is 127? Isn't it an integer or is it a short? First, tell me that. I'm giving you guys a few questions. First question, is it an int or a short? All right. Second question, let's divide this by 4. Yeah, let's divide this by 4. Okay. So if we divide this by 4, or let's divide this by, we can even divide this by 6. Dividing this by 6 is easier. Let's just do 6. Okay. So let's divide this by 6. So tell me what will be the answer of 127 divided by 6 equals to what? And 127 percentage 6 equals to what? I want to know both of all three answers. Send all three answers together. Write 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. This is a very basic question, but let's just quickly get this done with. So Nikhil says 126 by 127 by 6 will give us 21. Okay. So Sai says the answer of 2 is 21. Okay. So two of you guys are saying 21. What is the answer of this then? Sai says the answer of 3 is 1. Okay, so Guru Prasad says the first answer is a short, okay, but then Guru Prasad says 21.1668. No, Guru Prasad, that is not the correct answer. 127% 6 is 1. Nikhil is correct. Guru Prasad says 1 correct. Sandeep says 21 correct. Okay, so guys, good job. This is the answer, right? Let's just verify this. So let's say if I have a number called 127 and I'm dividing this by 6. Right. Let's look at what the quotient is. Quotient is 127 divided by 6, which is 21. So congratulations, guys. And remainder is 1. So congratulations to all of you guys who said 21 and 1. Right. Ramya says ain't 2 and 7. Ramya, how is it 2 and 7? Okay. So you need to understand what is happening. Right. Firstly, it is a short. The reason why it is a short is because the range of an integer. Okay, so the range of a short is from minus 127, 128 to 127. So it's actually a byte. I'm so sorry, guys. This thing was wrong. This is actually a byte. My bad. Short was supposed to be byte. I'm so sorry. Byte, byte. So technically, the first question was wrong, but okay. The answer is byte. I'm so sorry. But anyways, let's just talk about 2 and 3. All right. So okay. So 2 and 3. The answers for 2 and 3 that you guys gave were 21 and 1. Right. So Ramya, have a look at this. Okay, Ramya says 21 and 1. Okay, good job. So basically, this part is the quotient. So when you're dividing this, obviously this is going to be 0. Then 1 is carry forward. Right. Then this becomes 2 times. So this becomes 12. So then you subtract this. Uh, this becomes 0. Right. Then you bring this down, carry forward. This becomes 7. Right. Then you add 1 over here, this is a 0. Right, when you add a 1, this becomes minus 6, and then this becomes a 1. Correct. So 21 becomes your quotient, and this thing, percentage is modular sign, this becomes 1. All right, this is your remainder. So Ramesh is now clear. Okay, good job, Ramesh. All right. So this is it for arithmetic operators, guys. Very basic. Addition, subtraction, product is multiplication, quotient is division, and remainder is percentage. Right. Now here comes assignment operators. Assignment operators, you guys have already dealt with assignment operators. What assignment operators mean is that we are just going to assign something. Right. Now have a look at this. This is already an assignment operator. This equal to sign is what we call as an assignment operator. I am assigning the value of 127 to x. Right. I am assigning the value of 6 to y. This is how we read it. Okay. Now there are more assignment operators, and what those assignment operators are is something that is also very simple. Let's say you have an integer called x, and x is equal to 10. Now, if you say x is equal to x plus 10, system.out.println, what is the value of x? What is the value of x? Is it 10 or is it 20? Guru Prasad says 20. So let's check. Yes, it is 20 indeed. So good job, guys. So now basically this is what we call as we are assigning the value again, right? Now there's a short way of doing this. Instead of saying x is equal to x plus 10, what people do is people just say x plus equal to 10, right? So x plus equal to 10 is basically x is equal to x plus 10. Similarly, x Minus equal to 10 is also same. It means x is equal to x minus 10. Okay, this becomes x equals to x minus 10. Similarly, x star equal to 10 means x is equal to x star 10. All right. Similarly, x percentage 10, sorry, x percentage equal to 10 means x is equal to x divided by 10. Right. So people, Nikhil said zero. Nikhil, it's not going to be zero because 10 has become 20 now. So it is 20 minus 10, which is 10. Agreed. If this plus was not there, then it would have been zero. All right. But are you guys understanding? So this is just a short way of writing this entire thing, and this is something that people use a lot, by the way. Instead of saying x is equal to x plus 10, people just say x plus equal to 10, x minus equal to 10, right? And all this means is the fact that x is equal to x minus 10. Is this convention clear to you guys? So logical and or is something that we are going to discuss after if else, but okay. All right. So good job. Okay. So we said int x is equal to 10. Then we said x is equal to x plus 10, x is equal to x minus 10, x is equal to x into 10, x is equal to x divided by 10. Right. So, okay. How many of you guys have understood this? And I know this is getting a little tiring, so I'm going to give you guys a 5 minute break as well. So before you guys take the break, let me know how many of you guys have understood this properly. JP Code says yes. Guru Prasad says understood. Ramesh says yes. Nikhil says yes. Pawan says understood. Guys, I'm about to give you guys a 5 minute break. So quickly, everyone needs to say understood. And even if you haven't, do let me know. I'll explain again, right? But obviously, I will definitely explain again. But come on, the break is coming, right? So I need five more people to say a yes, and then I'll definitely give you guys a break. Sandeep says yes. All right. What about the others? Is Ankit here today? Our data analyst, Ankit. I feel Ankit is not here today. Kaushik says yes. Thank you, Kaushik. Asif, are you here? And Sai, Asif and Sai, and even Birigani. Are you guys still here? Rahul, where did Rahul go? Birigani says yes. Come on, guys, I will not leave you like this. But right, Vignesh. Okay, so I did promise you guys a break. So let's take a 5 minute break, and just a 5 minute break because again, after that, we're going to do if else and then I'm going to end the class. But I can feel everyone getting a little tired. So let's take a quick 5 minutes break. I'm going to put a 5 minute timer over here. And as this timer gets if this, as soon as this timer goes over, I'm going to end the break. All right. Is everyone ready? So your 5 minute break starts, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, so the break is over, guys. Leave a +1 as soon as you guys are back, right? A much needed 5 minute break for everyone, I believe. So leave. I'm going to write in the chat as well. Leave a +1 when you guys are back. Right. So leave a +1 in the charts when you guys are back so that we know that everyone is here and we can start our class again with good enthusiasm. So Guru Prasad was the first person to say +1. Good job. Then Manchu +1. Good job. Rahul is also here. Thanks, Rahul. What about Asif, Ramya, and Kaushik? Asif says +1 too. Good job, Asif. Sri Lakshmi also says +1. Good job. And Birigani, are you here? Nikhil? So Nikhil is asking me where am I from? Nikhil, I am from Delhi, right? So currently in Delhi as well. But right, Ramya says +1. Good, good. All right. So since most of you guys are here, we are now going to discuss our next topic, which is going to be if else statement. I am supposed to talk to you guys about logical operators, right, and comparison operators. But okay, let's discuss comparison operators. And right, we are going to definitely do comparison operators. These logical operators are something that we're going to discuss with if and else. Right. So let me quickly go through comparison operators and I'll tell you what these operators are. Let's say you have two numbers, you have 5 and 3, and not just numbers, two variables. Let's say you have two variables, and what you want to do is you want to get a certain or do a certain comparison between them, right? Let's say you want to see if these two values are equal or not, right? So what do you say? You say or you use the is equal to operator, right? Is equal operator. So now this is equal when I have one equal to sign, right? That means I'm assigning a value. When I have one equal to sign, I'm saying that the value of 5 is in x, the value of 3 is in y, right? But when I have two equal to signs, what that means is comparison. When I say boolean is equal, let me just show you guys what this gives me, right? When I say x equal to y, let me run this and see what do I get. Okay, I get an error, and that is because of this. All right, I don't want this to be okay. This is going to be, huh. All right, let's do one thing. Let me just print this value. Okay, we are just printing this value like this, keeping our life simple. All right, this value gives me false, right? So what does 2 equal to sign do? What does 2 equals to sign do is the fact that it just compares these two numbers. It says is x equal to y? If x is equal to y, this value will be true. Right now x is 5 and y is 3. If x was 5 and y was also 5, if I do this, now it's going to give me true, right? Similarly, there is an is not equal to. So when I add this exclamation mark, this becomes not equal to. So x not equal to y. Is x not equal to y? Yes. So what is the answer of not equal to going to be? It is going to be true. Why? X is 5, y is 3, right? Is not equal to. Yes, they are not equal to, right? So it's going to be true because not equal to means true. X is not equal to y. Yes, true. But if x and y were equal, what does that mean? So Sandeep, I've increased my font size. Let me know if this is fine or not, right? So is what was I saying? Right. So is x not equal to y? X is 5, y is 5. So is x not equal to y? No, x is equal to y. That is why this is false. Are you guys getting the hang of this? Right. Similarly, is greater than. Right. So is greater than is also a comparison operator. So basically what we are saying is, let's say x is 5, y is 3. X is 5 and y is 3. And now when I print this, when I say is greater, I say is x greater than y? Yes, x is greater than y, right? So if x is greater than y, that means this should be true, right? Similarly, I will print uh, less or equal, right? Look at this now. What will this last value be? Is X less than equal to y. No, x is greater than equal to y. That means x is false. I mean, this is false, right? Now, let's say if I do this, if I say x is 5, y is 5, will this be equal? This will be true. Is x not equal to y? No, they are equal. That means this is false. Is x greater than y? No, x is 5, y is 5. No means false. So, no, y will be, is greater will be false. Is x less than or equal to y? uh yes, x is less than, it is not less than, technically it is equal to, but x is less than or equal to, yes it is, right? Either or. So this will be true. So if you look at this will be true, false, false, true, true, false, false, true, right? Are you guys understanding? So this basically is the fact that, let's say we have two numbers, equal to. Are these two numbers equal to? Are they equal? No. If they're not equal, that means false. Right? 5 not equal to 3. Is 5 not equal to 3? Yes, 5 is not equal to 3. That means this will be true. Is 5 greater than 3 or greater than equal to 3? Yes, 5 is greater than equal to 3. Right? So that is true. And then what about 5 less than 3? Is 5 less than 3? No, 5 is not less than 3. So notice that this equal to sign can come anywhere. It can be greater than equal to or less than equal to. Alright, how many of you guys have understood this concept? How many of you guys have understood this comparison operators? What do you guys think? Should we try to do these with other numbers? Let's try to do these with some other examples, guys. I need some feedback, guys. Vignesh, Sandeep, Guru Prasad, Ramya, Muskan, Sri Lakshmi, Asif, Rahul. Anyone? Monica? Any? Should we try with other examples? Okay. So let's try with some other examples. Right. I got no response from you guys. Can you guys still hear me? Hello? Am I still audible, guys? No response? Huh. Okay. I will need some response, guys. Otherwise, I'll feel it's a technical issue. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yes, you should be still able to hear me, but whatever. We're going to try with a new example. I feel I did lose you guys. So, okay, let's try with some more examples. Guru Prasad, if you're there, you have to revive the chats again. And same goes for you, Ramya. You were the first person to reply today, so I hope you are still here. Asif, you too. Nikhil, you have been active, the most active for the last 2 3 days. So, anyways, let's try with some more examples. Let's say we have a number 10. Let's say we have 10 and the number 20. So is 20, 10 equal to 20? This equal to sign means, are they equal? No, they are not. So false is true. Is 10 not equal to 20? Yes, 10 is not equal to 20. This will be true. Is 10 greater than equal to 20? No, 10 is not greater than equal to 20. 10 is less than 20. So this will be false and this will be true. Right. Similarly, let's try with two same numbers. Let's say 10 and 10. Is 10 equal to 10? Yes. So this will be true. Is 10 not equal to 10? No, 10 is equal to 10, right? So this will be false. Similarly, is 10 greater than equal to 10? So 10, is it greater than equal to? What does this greater than or equal to? Right? So equal to means yes, that means true. So 10 less than 10, no, this will be false. Okay, now everyone has started to say understood again. All right, good to hear that, guys. Where did you all go? Okay, so Nikhil has understood as well. Great, great. So this was it for comparison operators. And before I start logical operators, I would want to start with if and else. Okay. So first, tell me how many of you guys is operators clear to you as a concept? How many of you guys are happy with if and else? Yes, Moin, you'll get a certificate, but only if you attend the class. Okay, Rahul says there was some technical issue. Okay, don't worry. I understand that, Rahul. And Guru Prasad said, can you please clear the doubt what I had asked earlier? So, Guru Prasad, what was your doubt? Please ask it again. I might have missed it. Yes, I did not receive any doubts. Guru Prasad, please, you can ask your doubt again. All right. And anyways, so if the concept of operators is clear, we can move forward. Let's just wait for Guru Prasad to ask his doubt. And once Guru Prasad is done with his doubt, we'll then move forward to if and else. All right. Thanks for typing in a +1, Sandeep. And thank you guys for letting me know that there was a technical issue in between. So that is why you were unable to send the messages. Right. All right. So I believe Guru Prasad is still typing his answer, I mean his question. So till then, let's move forward. We anyways don't have a lot of time now. So okay, till now, if I talk to you guys about the flow, how do you guys think the flow of the entire code is? It is just one line after the other. First we run line number 6, then we run line number 7, then we run line number 8, then we run line number 9, then 10, then 11, then 12, then 13, then 14, then 15, then 16. Right? The flow is linear. It's going one after the other, one line after the other. Right? What if I want to change the flow now? What if I want to say something like, based on certain conditions that, okay, if the user is logged in, I want to do something else. I want to show the user the login screen, right? If the user is logged in, I want to show the user the profile page. Or if the user is not logged in, that means I'll have to show the user the profile landing login page, right? So if I have the user, profile page, else login page. So this is basically what we call as if else statements, and this allows us to have certain control on our code. So basically what you can do is you can write certain if else statements. You can say something like, if, right, let's say I have an integer called x, user logged in. So I'm going to say boolean. So I'm going to say boolean user logged in is true. Okay, so this is certain variable. So we are going to say user logged in is true. Right, now what are we going to write? I'll get back to your doubt in a second, Guru Prasad. All right, so just give me a second. Let me just finish if else quickly, and then I'll come to your doubt. All right. Okay, just a second, let me see. All right, so I'm going to make a variable called user logged in. I'm going to say if the user is logged in, right? If the user is logged in, or I can say if the user is logged in is true, right? Then I want to say system.out.println user is logged in, right? Else I want to say user is logged out. So what do you think when I run this file? What do you think is the output going to be? The output of this going to be, first is going to be an error because I forgot my semicolons again. The amount of times I've forgotten semicolons is insane, but okay. User is logged in, right? It's showing that user is logged in. Correct. Good job. So now, similarly, what I can do is I don't really need this equal to operator. I don't need to equate it. If it is true, so something that I'll tell you is what is going to be inside your if is always going to boil down into a true or false situation. So I can directly just say if user logged in, this value is true. If this is true, then you do this, else you do this. I can even do certain arithmetic comparisons like if 5 greater than 10. Is 5 greater than 10? No, it is not. So what will this be? User is logged out. Right. So your if can just be any type of condition. It can be if your user is logged in, it can be something meaningful, or it can be totally arithmetic based on certain algorithms. Right. Something like is 10 equal to or 10 minus 5 equal to 5. What do you guys think? Is 10 minus 5 equal to 5? Yes. So is the user logged in? Yes. Right. So basically, this is what if else statements are. It just means that you can have separate blocks and you can control the flow of the code. You can say if something is true, do this, else do something else. Right. You can even have another if else inside of it. You can even have something like if 10 minus 5 greater than equal to 0. You can say system dot out dot println yes, and you can have an else over here and say system dot out dot println no. So what will be the output of this? If 10 minus 5 is equal to 5, yes, it is equal to. That means we'll go inside of this if. Now that we are inside of this if, we are saying is 10 minus 5 greater than equal to 0? Yes, 10 minus 5 is 5. That is greater than equal to 0. That means yes, right? So basically your flows can have multiple flows now. So you can have a lot of if else inside one another. And this concept of having one if inside of the another if is what we call as a nesting. This concept is what we call as nesting, right? So how many of you guys have understood this advanced concept of nesting? The fact that you can have one if, inside of that if you can have another if. Inside of that if you can have another if. So you can keep on controlling the flow of your program based on conditions. It's similar to the way your mind also works, right? If red light is there, stop the car. If yellow light is there, slow down. If green light is there, continue. Right. So Moin says understood. What about the others? Nikhil says understood. Right. Ramya, what about you? Rahul, Muskan, Guru Prasad. If else is a very fundamental yet one of the strongest concepts in programming. All right. Ramesh says understood, Muskan says understood, Guru Prasad says understood. Good job, guys. So this is what if and else mean. And what inside if and else, what you can do is you can have multiple conditions. And that is where your conditional operators come, not logic logical or conditional operators. Okay, logical operators come in, and what that means is that you can have multiple conditions. You can say if 10 minus 5 is equal to 5 and user logged in. So what is and this is what we call as logical and what this means is now both of these conditions need to be true. Only then will this go inside this if even one of these conditions is not true, let's say this becomes false, it will go inside else. Okay, so let me get rid of this nesting for now and let me just explain this. So let's say you want to have multiple conditions inside one if. You'll do that using what we call as these logical operators, right? This is what we call as logical and. What does logical and mean? It means this condition and this condition need to be fulfilled. Both of these will be fulfilled, only then will this be true. There is a table, very famous table that people make, logical operators table, right? So this is the table that they make, right? So basically, true and true, only true and true when they both are true. Only then will A and B will be true. Otherwise, if A is true, B is false, it will be false. If one of them is false, it will be false. If both of them are false, it will be false. Whereas when or comes in, right, there's another operator called or, logical or. So this condition or this condition needs to be fulfilled. That means if this is true or this is true. If either of them is true, then we are good to go. Even if one of them is true, then we are good to go. Right? So logical or table looks like this. It is like if A and B are true, good, A or B is true. If A or B, if A is true, B is false, it'll be true. If A is false, B is true, it'll be true. Since only one of them need to be true. But when both of them are false, even or is false because none of the conditions sufficed. None of the conditions were true. Right? Then obviously there is a not operator. This not operator just means uh, it just flips it. So if is sunny true, if I say not is sunny, that will become false. All right. So this is conditional. We'll still talk about this tomorrow as well. Don't worry. Right now, tell me how many of you guys understood if and else. First, we're going to talk about if and else and only if and else, and then are we going to talk about something else? What is the report on if and else, guys? Nikhil says understood. All right. JP says adds logic. Yes. What do you mean adds logic? Do you want me to make it more complicated? All right. So, okay. Muskan says understood. Ramesh is understood. Good job. Good job, guys. Proud of you. All right. So, if and else is clear, let me address Nikhil's or sorry, not Nikhil's, Guru Prasad's doubt. So, Guru Prasad said, "Sir, yesterday you told me that we can use different names for class name and the file name. If yes, can you please show me an example?" So, over here itself, Nikhil, I mean Guru Prasad, sorry, over here itself, main.java is the name of our file and class is hello world. I haven't named this file hello world.java, right? So over here itself you have that example, right? Okay, Guru Prasad said, sir, please show an IntelliJ. Guru Prasad, I don't have IntelliJ with me right now, but what we'll do is I'll show that example to you tomorrow, because I know even in VS Code that is possible. I'm If you want me to quickly show that to you in VS Code, I can. So I can have main.java as my file, and I can basically copy this entire code itself, right? It doesn't matter what your class name is. And if I run this, hmm, why is this giving me an error? Okay, language support for Java is not there. I'll have to do some installation. We'll do this tomorrow. All right. So don't worry about this, but it can be done. Don't worry. Anyways. So is if and else clear to everyone? So JP code is saying no, sorry, I mean that if else adds logic or conditions to our code. Yes. JP codes, I still don't understand your question, but what I think you're trying to say is, does if else add logic or conditions? If else allows you to control the flow of your code. It doesn't do anything else. It definitely, I mean, you can call that logic, but what if else does it? It allows you to control the flow. You can say that, if this is there, do this, else do this. There's something as we call as else if as well. That is something that we'll touch on the topic tomorrow, right? But anyways, any other doubts? Yes, Rahul, I'll have to add that extension again. Ramesh says no doubt, sir. All right, good, good. Okay, all right. So I believe everyone, we have covered what we had set out to cover for today, right? The only topic that is left for us to do tomorrow is we'll do if and else properly as well tomorrow, and after that we'll do for loops, and that is where our journey will be ending tomorrow, right? So this 4-day boot camp was just a head start for you to get started with React, not React, sorry, with Java. I am used to taking React tutorials, so really sorry for getting started with Java, right? Ramesh says, today I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for this wonderful lecture. Thank you so much, Ramya, for being such a great student, for always being active in the chats. And like I said, Ramya was the first person to say hi in the chats today. So everyone say hi to Ramya as well, right? And JP Code says, thank you, great content. Thank you, JP. So, okay, let me just conclude. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to start with for loops, and we're also going to do we're going to revise if else. We're going to do if else as well, and I might also talk some more about logical operators and all of these things, right? So do not worry. Tomorrow is going to be the last class. We're going to spend some more time talking about everything, and I would give you guys a good conclusion of Java, and I will make sure that you guys are going to uh, carry forward with AccioJob, and you guys are going to learn a lot, right? So Vignesh says no, sir. I believe Vignesh is saying no for the doubts. So thank you, Vignesh, for having no doubt. Muskan says today class is excellent, was excellent. Thank you, Muskan. So all right, guys, do not forget to do your assignments. Let me remind you that you are supposed to still do your assignments. Go to precourse.acciojob.com, the place where you started your class today, and please go to this pre-course module over here, and below here you have the live class, and start the unit. So give today's okay. So for some reason today's this thing is not live. Okay, I'll have this assignment 3 fixed. All right. For some reason assignment three's page is not working. Just a second. I will get this fixed. But do definitely attend this. All right. Okay. So do definitely attend this still. I'll make sure to get this updated, and you guys will be informed. So wait, I think 30-40 minutes and then attempt this. All right. And right. So all right, we shall meet tomorrow then, same time, 8 to 10 p.m. I'm leaving you guys. Yes, Rahul, it is giving me that error too. I'll get this error fixed as soon as I can. Try after some time, this will get fixed. All right. But please definitely do the assignment, and let's meet tomorrow where we're going to talk about for loops and a little more about if else and controlling the flow of our code. All right. I will also teach you guys how to take inputs tomorrow. All right. So if you think I have done justice to today's topic, do let me know. And if you guys genuinely think that I did justice and I served well and I taught you guys well, let me know. And if there's any feedback, we are always here to listen to your feedbacks. I will be here to listen to your feedbacks, right? Thank you for being such an amazing audience, for being such good listeners, for actively participating in the class. Again, thank you to all of you guys, especially Guru Prasad, Nikhil, Ramya, Rahul, right? GP codes. All of you guys were constantly active throughout the class. Bhakti, Vignesh, Sri Lakshmi, Asif, Birigani, Dharmanshu, right? Today Ankit was not here with us today for some reason. Maybe we can catch up with him also tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last class, and our journey will temporarily end. But if you guys pursue with AccioJob, which you guys should, right? I will definitely see you further, right? So you guys will meet me in your front end lectures, and I'll always be there to help you guys with your front end out sessions. And again, thank you for being this patient with me. This was my first time taking DSA lectures, right? I'm a front end developer. As you guys can probably go to the YouTube channel of AccioJob and see. right? I myself teach front end regularly, so that is my expertise, right? I obviously teach DSA as well, but uh, do give me a genuinely good feedback, and I will really appreciate it, right? So as you guys can see on my screen over here, uh, all of these front end sessions are taken by me, and Bhavya is the person who usually takes these sessions. But it's good to see the good response from you guys and the fact that you guys are so understanding, right? Pay after placement, Sai, you'll have to get in touch with someone from AccioJob. I am the curriculum. I am not aware of the exact curriculum, all right. But I believe you can go to our website, and over there, if you go to pay after placement, you will see the this thing. Pay after placement is, I think, this module. You'll have to talk to someone at AccioJob, and they can share uh, all the details with you, right? You can download the curriculum from our website itself. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to end the session now, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. So, good night. Take care of yourselves, right? Be safe. It is, again, there are flood time kind situations all across the country. So, don't go out of your houses that much and be safe, right? And enjoy your weekend. Today is a Friday night. Watch some movies, have some good food, right? And see you tomorrow then. Thanks for watching and have a good night.